All right, still not a great camera for doing these games at my dad's house, but I do have a microphone now, so a little bit of a positive. And hopefully you can hear me fine out of this microphone. I didn't even think about that. But the big positive, Celtics played terrific tonight. They beat their most hated rivals, the Lakers, in a game where you didn't have Jaylen Brown or Rob Williams, and the Lakers brought back LeBron James. You were able to sustain through a terrible, horrible start and then play really well in the second, third, and fourth quarters. Something we haven't seen from the Celtics very often this season. There's a lot to feel good about from this win. And there hasn't been a lot to feel good about this season. So we got to take these moments and these wins and when the team plays well and sort of revel in it and look at, okay, what did they do well tonight that the team can use as, I'm going to move this in front of me, as a blueprint sort of going forward. What did the Celtics do that they haven't been doing in some of these more frustrating losses and more frustrating games? Well, for one, besides the obvious point of you were hitting their shots, because obviously you need to do that to win games. But to me, the biggest thing that stood out was they played very well in transition. What I mean by that is they weren't after a missed basket saying, okay, we're going to walk the ball up the court. They were running. They were taking the ball to the basket. They were attacking the Lakers in the paint, and that sets things up later for much easier three-point opportunities as opposed to playing in the half court where you're sort of playing one-on-one or you're taking difficult shots, taking difficult threes, contested. Instead of doing that, once you consistently attack the basket, get into the paint, the defense collapses, and you're able to kick it out and find an open shooter. It's basketball 101. It's not that complicated, but the Celtics haven't done that a lot this season. Tonight, they really did a good job. I don't know if it's because they saw the Lakers' lack of rim protection, besides, Anthony Davis, because Dwight Howard hasn't been playing all that much. But the Celtics should do this against every team, whether they have a rim protector or not. Constantly be attacking the paint, constantly be looking to push the pace and get the ball to the basket. They have plenty of guys who can do it. Marcus Smart can do it. Dennis Schroeder can do it. Jason Tatum can do it. Jaylen Brown can do it. That's four guys that I just named that can put the ball on the floor and attack the basket because they're strong and they're athletic. Use that to your advantage. And the Celtics certainly did that tonight to the tune of 130 points. I'm assuming that's the most they've scored this season. I've watched every game. I can't remember them putting up that many points. Maybe one of those double overtime games, but 130 points in a four-quarter game is a whopping amount of points to score. They scored 30 or more in every single quarter, including 37 in the fourth and final frame tonight, to the tune of a 130-108 blowout win over the Lakers. Again, like I said, coming into this game, momentum was on the Lakers' side. Not that they've been playing well, but because they were getting that juice, that lift of LeBron James coming back to the team, supposedly to right the ship. They had a healthy team. They had a healthy Anthony Davis, a healthy Russell Westbrook, LeBron James getting extended rest. And so with the Celtics, that might be right, Leonard, 140. And then that was it OT or double OT against Charlotte, but whatever. I'll take the 130 tonight. And the Celtics had that lack of momentum with another frustrating loss to the Hawks the other night, and then not being able to have Jaylen Brown or Rob Williams go tonight. So I felt like, all right, the Lakers might slaughter the Celtics. And for the first part of the first quarter, it certainly looked like that. Grant Williams was getting abused defensively by Anthony Davis. LeBron James was having his way, doing whatever he wanted. The Celtics were doing their Celtic thing of taking bad threes and missing them. Jason Tatum was forcing stuff. And it was like, okay, here we go again. They're going to fall behind, way, way behind. Fortunately for them, Marcus Smart and Josh Richardson, of all people, were able to keep them alive enough in the first quarter to make things somewhat competitive. The Lakers scored 38 in the first quarter, which is terrible defense, but the Celtics managed 30. And that kept the Celtics alive just enough to be able to go on a big run in the second quarter where they scored 30, outscored the Lakers by 7 in that. Then 33 in the third quarter, outscored the Lakers by 12 in that quarter, and then erupted for 37 in the fourth quarter where they outscored the Lakers by 11. And that's how you win by a large margin. So credit to the Celtics for being able to withstand an early barrage from the Lakers, get punched in the face, and rally. That's something we have not seen this year with this team. And so it's an encouraging sign. Hopefully, it's not a one off. Obviously, the crowd tonight played a big factor. It's a big rivalry game. It's the first time that the crowd's been able to see Celtics Lakers in a couple of years. Because of COVID, obviously. And so the crowd was juiced. Paul Pierce was in the building. Bill Russell was in the building. Robert Kraft, a bunch of the Patriots were in the building. Some celebs. So the crowd was really electric tonight, and the Celtics fed off the crowd. That energy really helped them. And I hope that the Celtics are able to win games without that help, because you can't get that atmosphere every night, but they certainly can play like that every night. You don't need the crowd to play like that. It helps. It helps get you going. But if the Celtics can find it within themselves to sort of bottle up what they did well tonight and bottle up that energy that they felt with from the crowd and be able to then play like they did tonight, they'll be in good shape, certainly in better shape than they've been this season. I'm not saying they're going to compete for a championship or even compete to win the Eastern Conference, but they won't be this team that's so frustrating to watch and disappointing to watch. I'm just saying, play smart basketball, play with intelligence, push the pace, play to your strengths, and you'll suddenly be a team that is a lot more likable and feels a lot better about themselves going forward. That's it's not complicated stuff, but the Celtics, I think tonight, we've talked about this in past seasons, right? There's games that are inflection points in seasons where you can either choose to look at what you did well in that game and what happened in that game and build off of it and then start a little winning streak, or start playing a little bit better and you figure some things out, or you can just go back and revert to what you were. Tonight is, I'd say, the first real inflection point in the season. The Lakers haven't been playing well, but it's still the Lakers. It's still LeBron James. It's still Anthony Davis. They're just a year removed, like a calendar year removed from a championship, and you handled them tonight. So you're capable of playing well against high-level players. So take that, learn from it, build. Use this as an inflection point. The Celtics did not do that last year when they had wins like this, and they were few and far between. But tonight, they have an opportunity to do it with this win. So let's hope that they're able to do that. Let's get into the box score before we get out of here. Again, final score 130 to 108. Starters tonight without Jaylen Brown or Rob Williams were Grant Williams, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Marcus Smart, Dennis Schroeder. Jason Tatum led the way for the Celtics. He was the high scorer in the game. He was fantastic tonight. Looked like all-NBA Jason Tatum. 34 minutes for him, 13 of 26 from the floor. That's 50%, easy math. 4 of 9 from 3, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, a block, and 37 points for Jason Tatum. Grant Williams was really the lone starter who played a poor game. Had a tall task having to guard Anthony Davis, who's bigger, faster, stronger, better in every way than Grant Williams. And Grant Williams was getting abused defensively. 28 minutes for Grant, 2 of 4 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3. He did hit a big three-pointer. That was at an important time. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 5 points. So, yeah, really the only starter who didn't really help, who was kind of a net negative, even though his plus-minus was positive because the Celtics blew them out. But not a great game from Grant Williams. Al Horford did what he does, fills up the stat sheet. Very solid, 32 minutes, 5 of 9 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3, 10 free throw attempts for Al Horford. Celtics made a concerted effort to get him going in the paint, and he answered with 7 of 10 from the free throw line. 4 rebounds, 4 assists to steal, a block, and 18 points for Big Al. Marcus Smart, I think this was his best game of the season. The team really fed off his energy in a positive way. Sometimes they feed off of it in a negative way, but he was playing within himself tonight. And hitting his shots and giving you a lot of energy and effort defensively. Smart, 30 minutes, 9 of 13 from the floor, very efficient. 1 of 2 from 3. Nice to see him not bomb away from there. 3 of 5 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and 22 points for Marcus. And Dennis Schroeder, very, very good tonight too in his starting role. 34 minutes for Schroeder, 8 of 14 from the floor, 1 of 4 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 21 points for Schroeder. When you get 14 rebounds in from your backcourt from Schroeder and Smart combined, That's a really, really strong effort from your guards rebounding the basketball. And the Celtics won the rebounding battle handily today, 51-33. And when you have that wide of a rebound margin, typically you have a wide gap on the scoreboard, and that's exactly what happened tonight. So great job for the Celtics on the boards tonight. They also took care of the basketball. 12 turnovers. The Lakers had 11, so the Lakers actually won the turnover battle. But when it's under 15, you've done a good job, and so the Celtics did a good job taking care of the ball tonight. As far as the bench go, nothing really notable other than, like I said, Josh Richardson did a really good job early in the game, sort of pacing the Celtics. They needed someone to score. Josh Richardson did that in the first quarter. I don't think they win this game without him sort of being able to stabilize things a little bit in the first quarter. 29 minutes for Richardson, 5 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3, 4 of 6 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds and 15 points for Richardson. He's kind of going to go a little unheralded from this game because you got such a big game out of Tatum, Smart, and Schroeder, but Richardson was a real key to winning this game. And Brian Scalabrine, who I've been critical of in the past, I think made a really good point. Richardson is a very adept mid-range scorer, and I'd like to see that a little bit more. And him, sort of looking for his mid-range jump shot. I know it's out of vogue in the NBA, but as a scorer off the bench, I think that's fine to take that shot if he feels comfortable with it. And as Cantor played 16 minutes tonight, 5.7 rebounds, 1 assist. What he did well tonight, I think he actually was surprisingly okay on defense. He's an excellent screen setter. He did a really good job getting Jason Tatum good looks. He's a very strong guy, Cantor. He's a big dude. And I think that his, although his stat line wasn't that great, I think his the little things that he did tonight really paid off for Jason Tatum. And I'm sure if you asked Jason Tatum about Cantor tonight, he would be singing his praises because it was a big reason he was able to get open so much. And again, the Celtics win 130-108. That moves them to 8-8. It drops the Lakers to 8-9. Always a pleasure to beat a Laker team. Always a pleasure to beat the Lakers, and always a pleasure to beat LeBron James. LeBron did look good tonight, though, in his return after an 8-game absence. 32 minutes for LeBron, 10 of 16 from the floor, 3 of 7 from 3, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 23 points. And Anthony Davis was also very good, 31 points, 6 rebounds for AD. Not a lot of help besides those guys for the Lakers. They have plenty of stuff to figure out, but tonight it was the Celtics night. And I hope that the Celtics can really build off of it because this is a big inflection point possibly in the season. So we'll see if they can get it right. Tomorrow they're back at it against the Thunder. Possibly Jaylen Brown returns, possibly Rob Williams returns. Let's hope that if they do, it fits in and they can start rolling from here. They have no business losing to the Thunder. So everything goes back to being bad if they lose tomorrow. Take this win and build from it. Don't drop a game to a terrible team tomorrow. I appreciate everybody in the chat. I appreciate you watching live or after the fact. I feel good with the Celtics picking up that W against the Lakers. I never want to see, no matter what the records are, you always want to see the Celtics kick the crap out of the Lakers. And so I was thrilled to see that. Leonard, let's just hope this carries over into the future performances. Probably not. It's hard to feel optimistic about them right now, but all we can do is hope, right? So thanks everybody for watching, and I will be back tomorrow talking a little bit of the Celtics Thunder. Let's hope this win carries over, and I'll see you then. Thanks everybody.